Good morning, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And this morning, boys and girls, we're going to be tying the custom tied olive jiggy booger. So we're going to be using a Montana Fly Company 60-degree jig hook in a number 4. Olive thread and a 210 denier. Build you a spot. Hareline Chartreuse set of lead eyes, our dumbbell eyes. Do 5 cross wraps, then 5 the other way, then figure 8, 5, then 4 over and unders, and then 4 fraps. Tie it off in the back. Put a little whip on there. We'll drop a super glue on the top. We'll drop on the bottom. And you leave that sit off to the side to dry. So these I've done ahead of time. Now, in order to get a good Marabou tail, I like to use a couple. These are Marabou blood quills. You can get them about anywhere. Hareline, Nature Spirit, pretty much anywhere. You can buy them by the pack. You can buy them by the ounce. I like to buy them by the ounce because you get a good many of them. So your tail should look like that. And you want your tail to be just a hair longer than the shank, about like that. Square those up. And you want to tie that in almost right directly behind the eyes. And then in order to keep from fouling, I put a couple of wraps around the back. This is Uni Ultra Wire in BR gold. Tie that in right behind the eyes. I use a pair of old scissors. I've had these scissors 20-some years. Now you can use strung saddles, but I don't like to because they're not really long enough for me. So I use saddles off of this is a Keo Olive saddle. And you're just to prepare your saddle, you're gonna rake those fibers straight back. So they stand at a 90-degree angle to the stem. And then you want to put your feather in at right angles to your hook shank. And then you can just wrap that excess right into the underbody. Next is olive and black variegated medium chenille. It's another Hareline product, but you can get this about anywhere too. You want to peel those little fibers off to expose the string, and then get that tied in. You just put that off to the side for now. Next is your legs. These are pumpkin crusher legs. You just need one. Fold it over. Trim it. Set one off to the side. Get it in half. You want to give your thread a spin so it's tight. And just use a pinch wrap. Take 2 or 3 wraps, probably 2. Just enough to hold it in place for now. The same thing with the other side. Then you run your thread up behind the eye. Gather the 4 legs together. And you want to trim off about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little better. So the legs end up being about a shank length. Now you're going to take a couple of half hitches behind the eye. Swing your bobbin cradle over. Now you're ready to wrap your chenille. You just gotta be mindful of your legs because you don't want to trap your legs while you're wrapping. go. Swing your cradle out of the way. Take a couple of securing wraps. I usually use 3. Trim that off. And then take 2 more. Couple half hitches. Swing your bobbin cradle over. Now your saddle. Now you can use hackle pliers on this, but I usually wait till I get you might have to wet those fibers to get them to stay stood out. Again, be mindful of your legs. You don't want to trap them. Just palmer that hackle right up the shank, just like you would in any other woolly booger. Make sure you get a nice big collar right up behind the eyes. There we go. Take a couple of wraps to secure that. Trim it off close. Wet your fingers and bring those fibers back. Okay. Couple of half hitches right behind the eyes. Now your wire. And you want to counter wrap your wire, so that means wrap it towards yourself. And you just watch your palmered hackle. You want to make sure that you don't get that trapped underneath. You might have to go back and pick some out. Be mindful of your legs. You don't want to catch your legs from the top. You want to catch them from the bottom. That way you don't mess them up. But you want to make sure that you get a good reinforcing wrap between them. You put wire on these things because trout have teeth, and it helps to reinforce the body. Once you get up behind the eyes, you take a couple of wraps with the wire. Put your bobbin cradle out of the way. Take 3 wraps and pull the wire back and take 3 wraps. And you can trim that wire out of the way. You can helicopter it. I like to trim it. And take 3 more. and bring your jig hook up so that you can finish your fly right here. Take 5 wraps, and then I do a 5 and 3 whip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3. Now, doing a 5 and 3 wrap, you don't necessarily need any kind of head cement or any of the other stuff, but I like to put it on there anyway. And you sit that off to dry. And there you have it. CT Jiggy Booger. Put that off to the side to dry. Move on to your next one. So, excuse me. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on the Olive Jiggy Booger. And of course, this is a platform fly, so you can make it in any color you want. Let me zoom back out. So like I said, this is a platform fly, so you can make it in any color you want, just like any other woolly booger. Vary the colors of the Marabou and the body, and excuse me, and so forth to match whatever it is you need to match. If you like what you saw here, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can find it at CustomTiedBugz, Custom Tied Bugs, for my YouTube channel, and like and subscribe to that. You can also find the Custom Tied Virtual Fly Shop on Facebook by searching CustomTyer02. And I have lots of other tutorials and lots of bugs to look at on my showcase website at custom-tied.com, CUSTOM hyphen dash, it's a dash, TIED.com. Have a splash, don't forget the dash. Custom-tied.com. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. Happy tying.